remember this one time I was standing in line at McDonald's with my youth group when this man started talking to me. And he must have overheard me mention church to someone because he sparks up this conversation with me about beliefs. And he proceeds to tell me all the reasons why he doesn't believe in Jesus and why he hates the church and why he believes something completely different. And I patiently listened to him for roughly 15 minutes. But when I tried to respond to one of his statements, he began to speak over the top of me. He became argumentative and verbally aggressive. And I told him I'd been patient, and I heard his points, and I respected his beliefs, and I asked that he would simply in turn do the same for me. And he refused, and he continued to get louder and louder, angry that I wouldn't agree with him. I told him I wasn't going to have a conversation with him if he couldn't be respectful. So I walked away and I went and I sat at a table with my friends. And the man followed me to the table, stood over the top of me and started yelling that he wasn't being disrespectful. You know, the problem with communication breakdown when discussing religion, politics, and money is we all hold our opinions so highly. We simply want the other person to agree with us because we believe that we are right. I feel what we should do is share why we hold these beliefs to help the other person understand, and then in return allow them to explain why they believe what they believe, and actually listen to them and try to understand and absorb what they're saying without thinking about what your next response is going to be. You know, this is sharing, this is conversation. Otherwise it becomes one-sided and it's simply a monologue that brings no change. You know, the goal of communication isn't to agree, it's to understand. When I see political debates, it's always negative verbal bashing of how stupid someone is for supporting a candidate different to themselves. You know, even here in Australia, everyone has such a strong opinion towards the US election. And arguments are had over a different country's presidential election. Like, we all hold our opinions as higher than others. And I understand that makes sense. We believe strongly in our opinions, otherwise we wouldn't hold them. But I personally believe that an intelligent person who's full of love has a desire to connect with someone instead of condemn them. I want to hear your heart and I want you to hear mine. This is sharing. This is what love looks like. I can disagree with you and still love you. So when I share my faith with others, I do so because I believe that Jesus offers life to the full. And I want others to be able to experience that for themselves. But I don't want to pressure someone to believe what I believe, and I don't want to manipulate somebody into faith. I want to introduce them to what I believe is the truth and allow them to make that decision for themselves. I personally believe that revelation is the most important thing. You must have a personal revelation of Jesus. You can't have someone just simply convince you that they're right. And so much damage occurs in relationships because people believe disagreement means hate and agreement means love. But people won't always agree with each other, so this view immediately sets us up for failure. Love's not based on agreeing with each other. Love is based on connection. So sharing your faith must have a greater goal than convincing others you're right. You know, the goal should always be connection and understanding. I want to help you connect to God because I care. And I will show you I care by listening to you so I can understand your heart, and in return you can understand mine. Now, Proverbs chapter 12 verse 15 says, "Fools think their own way is right, but the wise listen to others." You know, one of the greatest ways to share love with someone is to listen.